there peaches, I make absolutely no apology for this goth as fuck lighting. I have been messing around with it now for the best part of 15 minutes, possibly 20, and I'm either completely washed out and looking a bit like this, or you just can't see me, so this is the better of the two. I quite like it, to be completely honest. I think it really amplifies my pale and interesting look. It is now not very long until September, and September on my channel is all about self-love. I talk about it all month long, both here, on my social media platforms, over on SoundCloud where I upload my audio files every Sunday, and this will be the 4th year running of SelfLove September. I know I made a video earlier in the month just kind of introducing people to it, explaining what it is for anybody who doesn't know, but I really wanted to, again, just draw everyone's attention to it, explain some things that I didn't go into depth about last time. I kind of want this video to serve as an inspiration station, if you like, for anyone who does want to go through SelfLove September and does want to kind of watch the videos on the channel here and also think about their own self-love journey. I wanted to provide some ideas and tips to help you make the most out of the month. I'm going to link below to the video that I made earlier in the month explaining what SelfLove September is and explaining just a little bit about what you can expect, etc. That first video does have quite a lot of details in it about the extras package, which you can actually still get your hands on for another day or two, so I will leave the link below to the extras package as well. If you want to get involved, if you want to become part of the group, there is still a couple of days left to do that. Every year that I choose to focus on self-love in my own journey and through the content that I place onto the channel, more people that are audience members of mine have decided to do the same. They've decided to really zoom in on their own journey with self-love, think about where they are with it, where they've been with it, where they want to go, and think about how they can just reassess their relationship to the entire concept and think about whether or not it factors into their lives enough. And I think that's really awesome. So I want to start by saying that I definitely don't recommend that you just watch my videos and let me take you on a journey through the month in accordance with what I think is important or what I think is interesting, because obviously you're going to have your own very different journey, and certain things that seem to be kind of pertinent for me at this point on my journey, or certain things that are interesting to me that I'd really like to delve deeper into, they might not necessarily be the things that are a part of your game plan right now. You know, some of the videos are going to resonate more with you than other videos, so I definitely recommend that SelfLove September, if you want to get the most out of it, is not just a month where you come here a few times a week and watch videos and think about how you feel about what I've said. I would definitely recommend that you make it into a very conscious journey of thinking about where you are with self-love. And if you followed along with the resources last year, then obviously also think about how you've been doing in those 12 months, over that 12-month time span. How have you been doing? How much self-love have you actually factored into your life? Where's the evidence for the self-love commitments that you made last year? How can you see that those commitments have been carried out? Whereabouts do you feel like you were kind of unable or unwilling perhaps to be self-loving in your decisions, in your interactions with people, etc. So it's really about you checking in with you rather than letting me just take you on my journey and go on about what I think is important, and you just end up being a really passive observer in my one-woman show. You know, that's not how I want it to be. I would definitely recommend that you think about you and think about where you want to go with it, think about what's important to you and so on. I've already taken some time over the month of August to sit down and think about my relationship with myself and what was important to me last SelfLove September, what's going on with me now, what are the big themes for me right now. And if it's of interest to any of you out there, probably the biggest thing for me that I'm going to be focusing on personally in my journaling and my ritual work and my contemplations throughout the month of September is going to be physical health and well-being, and my relationship with that aspect of my life in relation to self-love, and what I'm kind of bringing to the table there and what I've recognised my issues are there. It's going to be a pretty interesting month for me. I've just rejoined the gym after 10 years of not having a gym membership. The last time that I had a gym membership was in my early 20s, and I found that for the first 8 or 9 months it was great, or it felt great at the time anyway, when I was in the midst of it and I had my goals and I was enjoying going, and I was going with a gym buddy of mine as well, so it was lovely, until I realised that it was actually bringing back a lot of the negative mindsets and behaviours which were connected to my eating disorder and my problems with calorie counting and food restriction and stuff like that, which I actually felt like I was recovered from when I joined the gym. But joining the gym kind of gave me access to all of these different elements that brought those issues back to the surface. And in the end, after about 9 months or so, I had to be honest with my partner at the time that that was what I was dealing with, that going to the gym had brought these things up, and that I was kind of using the machines and the calorie counting stuff on the machines to push myself way above and beyond what I knew was healthy. And I'd started to obsess over calories again and stuff. So obviously my partner really encouraged me to like leave the gym and step away from that environment because I clearly wasn't ready. It's been 10 long years since I've had a gym membership, and I really feel sincerely attracted to the idea of having one. I've been running on and off now, I'd say semi-consistently running for 2 years at this point, and that's been a really great journey. I just started doing weights in January of 2017, and I'm really enjoying playing with weights, low weights, because I have a back injury, so it's a really slow journey, and that's completely okay with me. But doing these things and developing a little bit more stamina has really made me eager to get back into the gym and really make use of the machines and that kind of thing. So without dragging this on for too much longer, I think it's a really relevant time for me this year to have Self-Love September, because I'm thinking a lot about making sure that I commit to a healthy mindset and that I look at this next part of my journey in a completely different way than I was able to look at it last time 10 years ago, when I didn't have all of the resources that I have now and all of the understandings that I have now. Another kind of secondary theme, I suppose you could say, that is really interesting for me for this Self-Love September is the idea of solitude and giving myself more time in solitude, and also giving myself downtime. So time when I'm not so full on with social engagements, and time when I'm really actually just being quiet and I'm not doing a lot and I'm not expending a great deal of energy, and really thinking about how that helps me with my spiritual progression. And it also helps me to identify problems that maybe I'm not able or willing even to identify when everything is like balls to the wall and go, go, go. So it's really thinking about the value of the big three, as I've always called it: stillness, silence and solitude, and bringing those things back into my life and thinking about my relationship with those things, and why sometimes I do have a tendency, or I have had a tendency over the last year or two, to run away from those things a little bit. And also, I must admit, it's been a difficulty for me to have those things when I've even wanted them, because of different things to do with my situation as well. So, you know, I have definitely got some journaling to do to that end, and that's something that I'm going to be thinking about too. So these things are certain things I've been thinking about when it comes to my self-love journey. Take some time to think about what is relevant to you, what you're going through, what you've been through over the last 12 months since last September, or what you've been through since the beginning of this year, and home in on some topics that are important to you. And then after you've done that, you can really decide that during the month of September, you're going to allow yourself to do some card draws on various different things that are important to you or that you need to focus on. You can do some mantras or some affirmations, you can do some chanting, you can do some ritual, you can work some magic, you can do some journaling, you could do some art journaling or create some art to express how you feel, how you want to feel, how your journey has been, how you want to bring more self-love in. So there's so many different ways that you can do it. You can also work alongside somebody else or in a group of people to have discussions about self-love throughout the month of September. So if you know somebody else who watches my content, for example, then you can both agree to watch the videos together and have discussions on how you feel about the different points that were raised, as well as going off and doing your own research, watching other videos that are relevant, maybe reading books that are relevant to your particular journey with self-love, reading blog posts that are relevant to what you're going through in your self-love journey, and having conversations back and forth with your Self-Love September buddy or your group of people that you are talking about self-love with over the month of September. So that's more to do with collaboration, I think, and group accountability, which can be so useful and important. I'm just looking at this lighting and the makeup and everything, and I just really feel like breaking into Love Song for a Vampire by Annie Lennox and just getting really fucking dramatic. I swear I'm going to do that as soon as I film this. I'm going to get that song on the rockets and just turn them up to full blast. If you feel like it might be useful to tell your own story during the course of the month and tell your story online and really share your story with people, then don't forget that you can use the hashtags SelfLoveSept and SelfLoveStories to offer your own particular experiences, your memories, what you've learned about self-love. You can offer tips on self-love, that kind of thing. Obviously, you can also search those hashtags and see what other people have been saying. And you can also reply to comments underneath my videos and have exchanges with people underneath the videos that I'll be putting out during SelfLove September. There's so many different things that you can do to honour the month in your own way and go on your own journey. Don't forget, my darlings, that there are playlists of the previous 3 years of the SelfLove September videos that I put out. You can go to the playlist on my channel and check out SLS 2014, 2015 and 2016. So if you actually didn't have a chance to watch those videos, or you've only just joined me here on my channel and this will be your first SLS, then there is quite a bit of content that you can also enjoy. If you want to get extracurricular, if you want to go the extra mile, if you want to do more, then you can also kind of dive into the archive and see what's available for you there. And you can do the same thing over on SoundCloud. I can't remember if I did audio files on SoundCloud for 2014 and 2015, but I definitely did them for 2016, so you can check out the 4 that I did for 2016. Can't remember whether I did 2015. I'll leave all the links down below anyway. I'll go through and find them individually and leave them below. So if you're into audio files, if you want something to download and listen to while you're on the move, while you're in the car, while you're doing your cleaning, while you're in the bath, then listen to my sultry English tone. So I was doing a live stream in my private Facebook group earlier this month, and somebody asked me whether or not the process of doing SelfLove September in my online life was in any way helpful for me in my personal journey of self-love, or whether the two were quite separate. And actually, it's unbelievable how much I think doing SelfLove September has helped me with my own journey of self-love. For sure, they are definitely interconnected, they are entwined, there's no fucking doubt about it, because I definitely have to check in with where I am and what I've learned over the course of the year, so I can think about what kind of content I want to put out, what's important to me. And I've also had to be paying close attention to what audience members and clients and people who are gathered around my content want to see, and what their issues have been and what they've been talking about and what is a concern to them, so I can think about how I can potentially respond to some of those issues. And that is a really creative part of the journey for me, is thinking about how I can be solutions oriented and how I can make videos that are geared to specific issues that I come across time and time again in my work, or in the comments section underneath my videos, people saying that these certain things trouble them or that they need advice on these certain things. And a lot of it relates to self-love, so I definitely also go on a journey of listening and paying attention and really being open to what is coming through to me from other people about where they are on their journeys. And then I think about how I can be of service in a particular way to solve a problem that is evident to me. The comments that are left underneath my SLS videos are incredibly useful to me, and they help me to think more about really, you know, fine details of my own journey, and they just help me to stay plugged in to where my audience are at as well, and just think about all of the different experiences we've been through and the overlap in those experiences and the differences in those experiences. It's quite heady, and I really appreciate that about it. My channel has always been primarily focused on offering guidance, offering support, offering inspiration, helping people to understand different ways that they could reach a point of healing within themselves. To me, it's inviting people to be creative about their own journey towards healing, or their own journey towards their goals, their own journey towards self-knowledge. It's never about saying this is the one right way. And I very much hope that I do make enough disclaimers to that end. I probably don't make enough disclaimers for some people, because I think some people can never have enough disclaimers, but I do feel like I often stop in my tracks when I'm offering my advice, or when I'm giving particular ideas for different avenues that could be taken, in order to let people know that there is no one right way, and also that I can only ever give advice in videos from a general place. I cannot give advice from a specific tailored place, which is something that I have designed for your personal needs and for your situation, because I haven't spoken to you, I don't know your personal situation, and the video is not geared only to your individual needs. Every video that's put out on my public YouTube channel is going to be filled with what I hope are a number of different possibilities that can be considered, a number of different tips and options that might inspire somebody to try something new or go in a more empowered direction. And what I'm hoping is that I hit on as many different things that could resonate with as many different people under the umbrella of the topic I'm talking about as possible. My aim is not to say I have devised a pathway, I have devised a map, this is the map, this is where you go, and when you get there you'll be okay, you'll be healed, you know, you'll have clarity or whatever. That's never what it's been my intention to do. And so I want to make a disclaimer now before I get into the Self-Love September content that there is no one definitive way to practice self-love. There is no one definitive way to see the concept of self-love or one definitive way to place value on it in your life, you know. And I would never say that everybody has to place the same value on it. This content is not going to be equally valuable for everyone. And again, I do not know your personal story. Those who want to receive tailored discussion from me where I customize my insights and my tips and my ideas to their personal circumstances, those people I would advise have to become clients of mine. And that's how we do that more tailored one-on-one work. That's how I'm present to listen to one person's individual story and absolutely give it my all and brainstorm and really go there with that person and hold that space for them. With the videos, I hope what I'm offering is useful, but it is not going to be entirely specific to your story. Therefore, you have to put everything through the filter of your needs and your experiences. There may be certain things that I suggest within the domain of a certain topic which is relevant to you, which you know in your heart of hearts does not apply to you or is not helpful to you. If that happens during the course of SLS, it's you that needs to take accountability for thinking to yourself, okay, that particular piece of advice is not relevant because in my situation, X, Y, and Z. You know, but I don't know that about you. I don't know exactly where you are. So you've always got to filter everything through your own intuition and think about what would be best for you. And just be aware always of the fact that when I'm dispensing advice, when I'm giving out ideas, when I'm helping people to be more creative about ways of bringing self-love in on a more consistent basis, I'm really just trying to offer a bouquet. You know, it's a cornucopia, it's a buffet. Take what matters, take what's relevant, take what's helpful, take what inspires and empowers. If something doesn't feel right, if something feels as though it's not taking into account your particular nuanced situation, then darling, that's because I don't know your particular nuanced situation. And it's really important that you start from that point, you know, that you start from recognizing that I'm not necessarily talking specifically to you and telling you that you absolutely need to do something or you absolutely should try something. You've got to think about, you know, whether or not the mileage varies for you dependent on your circumstances. I mean, obviously I am always right. That's the bottom line, and anybody who questions my authority or questions the validity of what I have to say should seriously check themselves at the door and think about their own mental stability. And eventually I'm going to be creating some kind of a heavily armed compound down in Guam where I will invite you all to give up your life savings to me and come down and really work the fields while I talk to you all and preach to you all through some sort of giant megaphone until we all commit group suicide. No, I'm joking, I'm just fucking with you. Definitely filter everything through your own experiences. You have free will, you have the decision on what kind of advice you ultimately take. One more pretty boring disclaimer before I get going, guys, and that is that you will sometimes see me doing several videos over a number of days during Self-Love September wearing exactly the same outfit. And that's not because I'm wearing the same outfit for days on end, it's just because I filmed these videos in bulk. I wrote the notes and then, you know, I filmed them. So there might be a few where I'm wearing the same thing. I really hope that you enjoy these resources, and I hope that you enjoy, if you want to do so, dedicating September to thinking about self-love, its place in your life, and why it's so gosh darn fucking important. So until September, much love and blessed be, chickens.